Okay, humans, without a doubt, are the apex predator of Earth. The universe. But could we potentially reproduce with chimpanzees? Many days ago, I was in Katie Wisman's introductory to psychology class, and we talked about briefly animal hybrids. You know, everyone knows the Napoleon Dynamite scene where he talks about the liger, and I'm pretty sure that's what we talked about. I don't remember. So it got me interested, fascinated me a little bit. But then January, the next semester, while in my boy Dennis Cooley's class, we once again touched on this subject. And so, curiosity got the better of me. I tabbed out of his class, because, you know. And that's where I found this.
I was curious if humans and monkeys could interbreed, and I found a humanzee. And I just think that's the coolest name for whatever the flip that is. That's funny.
I always knew that humans and Neanderthals once created children, as evident by this man. But since the extinction of Neanderthals, is there another species that we could do the same thing with? The answer's probably. There is one animal that we do share enough common DNA with to potentially create offspring. Do you know what that animal is? It's the chimpanzee. Now here's some questions. You know, the chimpanzee laughs when it's tickled. It uses tools, and they communicate with each other in groups. So, would it be more chimp or human? Would there be much of a difference? Would it be able to talk? What would be the case? Well, we almost answered that question several times. Now, there have been multiple attempts to create a humanzee, once by a Russian who used his own, human juices to inseminate 3 chimpanzees, all of which, to public knowledge, failed to reproduce. There was a rumored instance, that the United States successfully created a humanzee, but then euthanized it. And then there was that thing with the Chinese in 2021, but we'll talk about that later. So, for over a year now, I've been giving a scenario and a question out to about 100 people, and only 3 have flat out refused to answer, which is really surprising. And why only 3 people refused and not more? Well, that's a question only for God. A man with a briefcase walks up to you one day and asks a question. Do you know what a hybrid is? It is the offspring of 2 related species that are not the same species. An example being a liger, geep, and litigon. Are you aware that humans share enough common DNA with chimpanzees to create such thing? If given the opportunity to be a part of such an experiment, how much would have to be in this briefcase for you to fornicate with a chimpanzee? Now keep in mind, this will remain anonymous, and no one will know you did it unless you tell them. You do not have to commit the full-on act, but rather just the end part. The experiment does not have to result in a hybrid for you to get the money, but if it does, you will make even more money based off of a percentage of whatever money is made off of the humanzee. Now, the amount of money in said case will not be taxed by the government, and you will get all of it in whatever form you so choose. Here are the answers I got. What did you say again? I forgot to write it down.
I said 10 million.
Sam said 10 million too.
Dude, I told you 100K.
Yeah.
$6.34.
$6.
I can imagine quite a lot.
Enough for a donut and a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. Say 2 mil.
2 mil?
I say 5 million.
5 million?
Only 50 million.
1 billion doll hairs.
For sure. I'd fuck a chimpanzee for $1.39.
$100,000 is worth it.
She just happens to be $1,000.
So
And a female dog.
Why can't I do $500 million?
you can do $500 million.
2 billion. 2 billion?
500 probably.
$500?
No, 1,000.
500,000? Okay. Free.
God,
Maybe closer to the 800 million.
big bull.
5K. Probably.
Really just one?
Probably 45K.
All right, never mind. Bring it up to 50K. Fuck that.
$6 million.
10 mil.
10 mil at minimum?
Okay.
Great, you know what? Yeah, $1,000.
They shit everywhere?
At least
how much?
500 grand.
Yeah, at least $1 billion.
I'd say probably 10 grand. That's enough to get me out of that.
Well, you guys are fucking expensive.
Unfortunately, due to some technical issues and poor planning, some of the recorded clips are gone and lost. Being that not every answer was recorded in a video, here's a graph. The amount of answers between $100,000 and $1 billion came out to be 45.2%, which is shown in blue. The amount of answers that came to be above $1 billion was 9.5%, as shown in orange. And all answers that came out to be below 100,000 was 45.3% of people, shown in gray. Now this begs the question. Why did you spend a year and a half of your life, my life, asking this question? Well, to answer that, it was something to do. And I don't know. Now, as someone who is very interested in the human mind, I knew asking this question without the incentive of money, I would get very weird looks and lose probably every friend I had that I asked this question to, if this video hasn't done that already. I found that people were much more likely to give a somewhat real answer when given the incentive of a briefcase full of cash. I feel my responses were pretty genuine for the most part, given the question. Usually whenever I asked this question in groups, people would fight over the answer. Like, they would try to convince the other person that their amount was the ideal amount. So, I mean, I'd say it's pretty genuine for the most part. I mean, obviously, I don't think anyone would do it for free, but hey, still an answer. Surprisingly, only 3 people refused to answer this question. Flat out refused. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Crazy! Now, back to the Chinese, because I said we'll talk about that later, because everyone loves the Chinese. So they claimed a while back that they successfully created a human monkey embryo, but then terminated it. Like, as recent as a couple of years ago. It was on the news. And I think it resurfaced whenever I was asking my question, which enlightened me to this fact. So yeah, a little tad bit of information right there. But in conclusion, happy birthday! I would like to thank everybody who participated in this entire discussion. This whole thing would not exist without you, so take that as you will. If I learned anything from this year and a half of stuff, I learned that I'm gonna ask random questions, and every year something like this will be produced. So, not on the dot. This video was supposed to come out in December of last year, but hey, it's May, I think. Without further ado, I leave you with my concluding video of the coolest thing.
Look at that. It's rare. Like a liliger, or a poompard, or a tigan, or a tailgur, or a goat.
And I'll see you in the next one.